Good afternoon, my dear students. Welcome to AICTE Prerana online class section. In this connection to online class, today I am going to explain about electrophoresis. Before entering into our concept, let me introduce myself. Myself is Shakib Basha, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Analysis at Raghavendra Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Autonomous, Anantapur. So today I am going to explain in detail about electrophoresis. So in this connection, I am going to explain about introduction part, what is the principle involved in electrophoresis, then history behind this electrophoresis, instrumentation parts, and factors which are going to affect electrophoresis. So these things I am going to explain in my today's class. If you are observing, electrophoresis is the term which is obtained from the Greek. So in Greek, electrophoresis means a transport by electricity. Okay, so electro means electricity, phoresis means movement. So combining together, we are calling as electrophoresis. So which means transport by electricity. In electrophoresis, what we are going to do? We are going to do the separation. That's why electrophoresis is called as a physical analysis through which we are going to do the separation of compounds. Okay, so but the separation of compounds simply we can't able to achieve. For that purpose, we are going to apply electrical charge or electrical field in between two electrodes. Okay, for example, you assume that you taken one buffer solution in one container. Now you are keeping two electrodes in that container. So when you are applying potential difference between these two electrodes, so whatever the charged particles are there in your sample solution, so it is going to migrate towards the opposite charge of your electrodes. Okay, so you take one container, in that you place one buffer solution. So buffer means you know that it contains both charged particles, I mean positive ions are there, at the same time negative ions are there. When you are dipping two electrodes into the buffer solution, okay, what will happen? If you are applying the voltage or potential in between those two electrodes, the migration of charged particles is going to happen, okay, towards opposite electrodes. So finally, you can achieve the separation that is going to happen in electrophoresis. So that's why for the separation of biological molecules such as carbohydrates, amino acids, peptides, proteins, nucleotides, and nucleic acids, so all these biological molecules we can do separation by using this electrophoresis. Okay, now let me move on to the exact definition of electrophoresis. Okay, so what is the exact definition of electrophoresis means? Here the migration of charged particles are going to take place, okay, through a solution under the influence of external electrical field. So for example, you take one sample solution. So that sample solution is having both positive charge ions or negative charge ions. Okay. So best example, you take amino acid. Okay. So as we know that amino acid is having both amine and acid group. Okay, NH2 plus and COOH. Okay, COO minus. So both positive and negative charge is there in your amino acid. Now what I did, I dipped two electrodes in my sample solution. When I applying potential difference between these two electrodes, what will happen? The migration of charges is going to happen towards opposite electrodes. I mean, positive charge ions are going to move towards cathode electrode because cathode is having negative charge. Similarly, negative charge ions are going to move towards anode. Okay, because anode means it is having positive. Okay, so like that, the charged particles are going to move towards the opposite side of your electrodes. So finally, you can achieve the separation. Remember, compulsory you have to apply electrical field between the electrodes. If you are not applying the electrical field, your charged particles are not going to migrate. If no migration, there is no separation. Okay, so you can observe second point. So ions which are suspended between two electrodes are going to tend to travel towards the electrodes that bear opposite charge. Okay, what I told. Okay, so if your sample solution is having charged particles, it may be cations or anions. They are going to travel towards the opposite charge electrodes. Okay, cation means though they contain a positive charge, they move towards the cathode electrode because cathode electrode is having negative charge. Anion means negative ions. So those anions are going to move towards anode. Okay, so because anode is having positive charge. So like this, we are going to achieve the effective separation in electrophoresis. Now, if you are performing electrophoresis only for positive charged particles, so at that time it is called as cataphoresis because positive charge ions we are calling as cations. Okay, so that's why if you are performing electrophoresis for cations or positively charged particles, so it is called as cataphoresis. Similarly, if you are performing electrophoresis for a negative charged particles, I mean anions, so it is called as anaphoresis. Okay, simply remember the logic. So if you are performing electrophoresis for cations, it is called as cataphoresis. If you are performing electrophoresis for anion, it is called as anaphoresis. Okay, now you can see the diagram. If you are observing this diagram, clearly you can understand the principle. So here, two electrodes I placed in a buffer solution. One is called as cathode. Okay, cathode means which symbol? Negative. Anode means what? It contains positive. So these cathode and anode are two electrodes. Where I dipped in sample solution or buffer solution. Okay, my buffer solution is having charged particles. You can see here, two charged particles are there. Cations are there. At the same time, anions are there. Okay, so anions I represented with the green color. Okay, negative charge. Then cations are represented with sky blue color. You can see clearly in the diagram. So here, the cation, which is I represented with sky blue, it is moving or it is migrating towards cathode. Why? Because cathode is having negative charge, it will attract the positive charge ions. That's why all cations are moving towards cathode. Similarly, anions, you can see here green color are represented. So this green color anions are moving towards anode because anode is having positive charge. So simply what I am going to conclude is cations are going to attract it towards cathode, anions are going to attract it towards anode. So finally, you can separate the charged particles which is present in your sample solution or buffer solution. That is called as electrophoresis. Remember, between this cathode and anode, what you have to do? You have to apply the electrical field. Then only separation will happen. If you are not applying electrical field, there is no migration. Okay. If migration won't happen, you can't able to separate the charged particles. Now, we will see the history of electrophoresis. Okay. So, in the year of 1807, two Russian professors, okay, first person name is Ivanovich Strakov and Fernand Frederick Russes. Okay, simply remember Strakov and Frederick Russes, named two scientists. They observed the electrokinetic property in 1807. Okay, the electrokinetic property they observed in 1807. Who are those people? So first person is Strakov, second person is Frederick Russes. Okay, they belongs to Moscow University. So after that, one more scientist came. His name is Arne Teselius. Okay, so this Arne Teselius we are considering as a father of electrophoresis. So why we are considering Teselius as a father of electrophoresis means, okay, so he given a proper mechanism and with exact principle which is there in our electrophoresis. At the same time, the equipment for achieving the effective separation. So everything he given a clear-cut idea. So that's why we are considering him as a father of electrophoresis. Okay, what is the principle behind the separation? How the mechanism of separation is going to happen? How the equipment will be there for separation of electrophoresis? Okay, so everything was given by this Arne Teselius. That's why we are calling him as a father of electrophoresis. Okay, how did he discover this electrophoresis? Because he separated serum proteins. So he is performing research on a serum. So he separated serum proteins, okay, by using this electrophoresis process. So that is the initiation of this electrophoresis. Okay, now principle of electrophoresis. Remember, if they're asking the principle of electrophoresis, the first point what you have to write? In electrophoresis, the charged particles which are present in our buffer solution or sample solution, it is going to separated or migrated towards the opposite charge electrodes. Why this migration is happening? Because in between these two electrodes, we are applying electrical potential or electrical current. Okay, because of that electrical current, so the migration of charged particles which is there in our solution, okay, it is happening. Now the question is the migration rate of your charged particles. I mean, cations are moving towards the cathode, anions are moving towards anode. No. So if they are moving means what it indicates, they have some velocity. Okay, that is called as migration rate. So that migration rate of your charged particles is depending upon some parameters. So one is net charge, second one is size, third one is shape, fourth one is electrical current, how much you are applying in between the electrodes. Okay, so the migration rate of your charged particles is completely depending upon the net charge of your particle, size of your molecule, shape of your molecule, at the same time how much electrical field you are applying in between the electrodes. Okay, so by keeping mind these parameters, I framed one reaction which is a V equals to EQ divided by F. Okay, so here V means velocity. So how velocity is coming? Because our charged particles are migrating, no? So migration means what? Moving from one place to another place. So because of that, velocity will be generated. So that velocity represented with V. Then capital E means electrical field. As I told, in between two electrodes, we are applying electrical field, no? So that electrical field I represented with capital E. Then Q means net charge. For example, you see, I taken sodium chloride as a sample. Sodium Na plus. So that plus is net charge. For example, you take calcium ion Ca2 plus. That 2 plus is net charge. So Q means net charge. Then F means frictional coefficient. So remember, frictional coefficient is depends on mass of your molecule what you taken and the shape of your molecule. Okay. So this formula you have to write under the principle of your electrophoresis. Now, in detail, we will see what are the factors are going to affect your migration rate. Okay. So first one is net charge of molecule. As I told, okay, the charge which is present on your molecule, it will show the effect on your migration rate. Second one, size. I mean, small size particle, big size particle will be there. No, that size, mass, and shape also will show the effect on migration rate. Then third one, pH, ionic strength of your buffer also will show the effect. Then electrical field, how much you are applying in between the electrodes. So it will also show the effect. Then properties of supporting medium. Remember, in electrophoresis, we can take a paper and gel as supporting medium. I mean what? The paper or gel, what you are taking, that one we have to moisture with a buffer. Then upon the paper or gel, you apply your sample. Though already you moistened with the buffer, what will happen? Your sample is going to migrate through your paper or your gel. So finally you can achieve the separation. Okay. So here paper and gel are considered as supporting medium. So we will see in next class, okay, what is the mean by paper electrophoresis, gel electrophoresis in detail. Okay, then temperature of operation. At which temperature you are performing this experiment, it will also show the effect on your migration. Remember? So these are the few important parameters which are going to show the effect on your migration rate. One is net charge, size, mass, shape of your particle, pH and ionic strength, electrical field, then the properties of supporting medium. I mean a paper, gel, that paper thickness, okay, gel thickness, that length, dimension. So these parameters are going to show the effect. Then temperature of your operation, where you are performing your experiment, it will also show the effect on rate of migration. Now we will see in detail one by one. So before entering into the factor, let me explain what is the mean by electrophoretic mobility. As I told, when the charge particles are moving in your sample solution or buffer solution, that is called as mobility. So simply we can call as electrophoretic mobility. So for that we have an equation which is a mu equals to Q divided by 6 pi R N or neta. Okay, that is not N, neta. So here mu means, you know that electrophoretic mobility. Mu means electrophoretic mobility. Q means charge, net charge. R means radius. Neta means viscosity of medium. I mean, you are taking buffer, no? So what is the viscosity of that buffer medium? That is neta. R means radius of your molecule. Pi means, you know, constant. Here mu means electrophoretic mobility and Q means charge of your molecule. Okay, so very, very important for your GPAT. They can ask this formula also. Electrophoretic mobility, what is the equation? Mu equals to Q divided by 6 pi R neta. Now I am entering into the factors. So the first factor is sample. Remember, under sample, again I am talking about 3 parameters. One is called as charge, second one is called as size, third one is called as shape. Okay, now I am talking about factors which are affecting electrophoretic mobility. Under those factors, the first parameter is sample. Under sample, I am talking about 3 components. First one is charge, second one is size, third one is shape. So first you see charge. The rate of migration is going to increase. Okay, if you are increasing the net charge. Remember, calcium Ca2 plus, sodium Na plus. Okay, Ca2 plus, it is having net charge plus 2. Na plus, it is having net charge plus 1. Now among these two, which one is going to migrate very fast? Calcium is going to migrate very fast. What is the reason? Calcium is having net charge Ca2 plus, but sodium Na plus. That is the example. Okay, if the net charge is more, automatically what will happen? Migration rate also will increase. You see here, X2 plus will move faster than X plus. Why X2 plus is moving faster? Because it is having net charge 2 plus. That is the reason it is moving faster when compared with X plus. Now charge over. Then second parameter is size. Remember, if the size of a particle or molecule is very more, means migration rate is going to decrease. Large molecule, large size molecule, migration rate will decrease. Less size molecule, migration rate will be very more. You can observe clearly in the diagram. So here I have one beaker, I mean one container will be there. So in that I poured buffer. Then 2 electrodes you can see here. One is cathode, second one is anode. I applied to the power source. So here supporting medium, what I taken is gel is there. You can see inside gel is there. That gel I moistened with the buffer. That to here 3 cavities you can observe in the diagram. Okay, I made 3 small cavities by taking a comb. Okay, now in that cavity I applied 3 samples. Now you see large molecules, what I told, if the molecule size is large, it won't move very fast. Migration rate will be low. Migration rate is going to decrease. That's why you see for large molecule, you got a nearby there itself a zone. You see shorter molecule. So shorter molecule is having more migration rate, no? That's why you see at last it was eluted. So zone for shorter molecule you got at last. Clear now? If the size of molecule is large, migration rate decrease. If the molecule size is less, migration rate will be very more. Now shape. Remember, different shape means even though it is having a same charge, it will show the effect on migration rate. For example, you see sodium, it is having positive charge. Then you take other compounds which are having same positive charge. Okay, charge is same. Even though if the shape you are changing, for example rectangle, cylindrical, spherical, like that we have different shapes, no? So that shape also will show the effect on your migration rate. Remember, even though the charge is same, if you are changing the shape, it will show the effect on your migration rate. So that is about first parameter, sample. Under sample what I covered? Charge, size, shape. Now I am moving to the second parameter, electrical field. So you see Ohm's law, you know, I equals to V by R. So I means what? Current. V means voltage. R means resistance. Okay. So I means current, V means voltage, R means resistance. So remember, if you are increasing the voltage, automatically migration rate also will increase. I mean what? Between electrodes you are applying voltage, no? Potential difference. Okay. So if you are increasing the voltage, automatically what will happen? Migration rate also will increase. I mean voltage is directly proportional to the migration rate. Now current. So simply voltage won't generated between the electrodes. What you have to do? You have to switch on the plug. Then only current will go. So indirectly you see If you are increasing the current, voltage will increase. Because of voltage, again migration rate will increase. So finally, what I am going to say is voltage and current both are directly proportional to your migration current. If you are increasing voltage, migration current will increase or migration rate will increase. If you are increasing current, also will increase the migration rate. But third parameter, you see resistance. You know, resistance is inversely proportional. Okay, if you are increasing the resistance, automatically the migration rate is going to decrease. Simply remember this formula. Ohm's law, I equals to V by R, that is current equals to voltage divided by resistance. Both current, voltage are directly proportional to your migration rate, but resistance is inversely proportional to your migration rate. So that is about second factor, which is electrical field. Now I am moving to the third factor, buffer. You see, under buffer, I am focusing on two parameters. One is ionic strength, second one is pH. Remember, ionic strength is the first parameter, second one is pH. Now you see, if the ionic strength of buffer is more, means what will happen? Very more ionic strength means what will happen? If the ionic strength of buffer is less, means what will happen? So these three situations I am going to talk now. Under ionic strength, if the buffer ionic strength is more, means what will happen? Very more means what will happen? Less means what will happen? Now I am going to explain. So the first parameter is, if the ionic strength of buffer is more or increases, means what is going to happen? We will see. You see, the proportion of current carried by your buffer also will increase. Okay, if the ionic strength of your buffer, what you prepared is more, means that buffer will take more amount of current. Okay, because the strength of your prepared buffer is more. That's why the current which is passed by your buffer also more. But your sample migration rate will be there, no, it will decrease. I mean, you are taking paper, you are matching with buffer. Upon the paper, you are keeping your sample, no, that sample migration rate is going to decrease. Clear now? So if the buffer ionic strength we are increasing, buffer will take more amount of current, but sample current is going to decrease. So finally migration current will decrease. Over. Now, very high concentration or high ionic strength buffer if you are taking, what will happen? Overall current will increase. Finally, heat is going to generate it. Okay, it should not happen. If heat is generating, what will happen in case of paper chromatography? Your paper will become dry. So that's why more ionic strength also you should not take, because current will increase. Finally, heat will be generated. Your paper will become dry. So two parameters over. Then third one, if the ionic strength of buffer is decreases, means, so automatically if the ionic strength is decreases, means the current which is carried by your buffer also will decrease. If the buffer is carrying less amount of current, means what will happen? Your sample will carry more amount of current, migration rate will increase, opposite to your first condition. Okay, whatever you see in first condition, it is quite opposite in case of third condition. You see, if the ionic strength of buffer is decreases, means the current which is carried by your buffer also will decrease. So finally, here your sample is going to carry more amount of current, automatically migration rate is going to increase. Now, next parameter, pH. Now ionic strength over pH. You see, pH if is increasing, automatically it will show the effect on ionization. So finally migration rate is going to increase, because you know that pH means what? Negative logarithm of H plus ion concentration. Okay, so it is related to concentration. So that concentration is going to show the effect on your migration rate. Then last and final parameter, supporting medium. You see, under supporting medium, I am talking about two again subparameters. One is adsorption, second one is electroendoosmosis. Absorption, electroendoosmosis. You see, what is the mean by absorption? As I told, in paper, in electrophoresis, you can take either paper or gel as a supporting media. Okay, you can take either paper or gel as a supporting media. So if you are taking paper or gel as a supporting media, upon that paper or gel you are applying your sample, no? Okay, we'll apply sample. Sometime what will happen? Your paper or that gel is having adsorption property. I mean, they will absorb. Whenever the absorption of sample is happening by your paper and gel, automatically what will happen? Instead of getting a zone shape, you will get comet shape. Okay, normally we have to get a zone shape. Okay, so zone shape band we have to get, But whenever the absorption of your sample by your paper or gel is happening, I mean, whatever the sample you are placing on paper or gel, okay, that sample, if it is absorbed by your paper or gel or absorbing media, automatically you won't get a zone. So normally in case of electrophoresis, you will get different color zones. Exactly, you can see the shape, zone shape. But if absorption is happening as a drawback, instead of getting zone, you will get comma shape. You can see in the diagram. So it should not be like that. Okay, if you are getting a signal like this, it won't be considered as a good. So tailing is happening. Your sample tailing is happening. Okay, remember simple thing. The supporting media, whatever you are using, it should not absorb your sample. Okay, if it is not absorbing means you will get exactly zones with a different color. If absorbing means what will happen? Instead of getting zone, you will get the comet shape. You can see clearly in the diagram. So then next parameter, after absorption, electroendosmosis. Remember, as I told, we are using some supporting media, paper, gel, sometimes glass also you can use. You see, if you are using paper as a supporting media, paper may contain carboxyl group. If you are using gel, it may be agarose gel or polyacrylamide gel. So if you are using gel as a supporting media, they may contain sulfate group. Sometimes if you are using glass as a supporting media, it may contain silanol group. So these groups will show the effect. You are getting my point? Electroendosmosis is going to happen because of the charged groups which are present on the surface of your supporting media. For example, paper is having carboxyl group as a charge group upon the surface of paper. Agarose gel is having sulfate group upon your paper. Okay, then glass, it is having silanol group. So because of this group, what is going to happen? Because of these groups, they are going to activate the movement of cations. I mean, positive charge ions will be there, no, in your sample or buffer, they will activate it. So if positive ions are activating automatically, which ions are going to retarded? Anions are going to retarded. Okay, so finally what will happen? Though the positive ions are activated, all the positive ions where they are going to attracted towards the cathode, they are going to attract. So finally that net migration we are going to observe towards cathode. Don't get confused. You are taking supporting media. That supporting media is having some surface active groups like carboxyl group in paper, sulfate group in gel, silanol group in glass. So those groups, they will activate the cations. If the cations are activated, what will happen? Those cations will move towards cathode. Anions are going to suppress. So that is called as endoosmosis. Okay, this is about factors. Now, what are the different types of electrophoresis? We will see. So we have two major categories. One is zone electrophoresis. Second one is called as moving boundary electrophoresis. Okay. So what is the mean by zone electrophoresis and moving boundary electrophoresis? Now I will explain. So zone means you are taking supporting medium, either paper or gel. Okay, I told you, no, you can take either paper, cellulose acetate membrane, or starch gel, polyacrylamide gel. So anyone you can take as a supporting media. So if you are taking these zones, what you have to do? You have to moisten with buffer. After moistening, you are going to keep your sample. Then electrode, you know, common. Buffer solution also common. Finally, what will happen when you are applying potential difference? Okay, so charge particles are going to move towards your opposite electrodes. Finally, you can observe the zone formation. I mean, so you are placing your sample. That sample is migrating towards opposite sides of your electrode. Finally, you can see the zone formation. That's why name came as zone electrophoresis. Remember, in case of zone electrophoresis, supporting media we are using either paper or gel. Okay, then what is the mean by, you see, this is the diagram for zone electrophoresis. Here one beaker, here one beaker. I mean containers are there. I placed two buffers or electrolytes. So between these two cross bridge is there. You can see by connecting these two cross bridge is there. So there I am keeping my paper. Okay, before I am going to place my paper, what you have to do? That dry paper we are going to wash. After washing, you have to moisten with buffer. Whatever the buffer you placed in our beakers, that buffer you have to use for moistening. Then only you have to apply the sample spot exactly and between the paper. At the center of your paper, you have to apply your sample. Okay, you should not apply on dry paper. Okay, after moistening with buffer, you have to apply. Then you know, this is a red color one electrode, blue color one electrode. One is cathode, one is anode. When you are applying potential difference, what will happen? Whatever the sample you applied in your paper, it is going to migrate. Finally, you can see the bands, zones. So that is called as Zone electrophoresis. Moving boundary means what? Free moving of solution without supporting media. Here supporting media won't be there. You see. So moving boundary means it contains U-shaped glass tube. Inside the U-shaped glass tube, you can see here, I filled buffer plus sample. Here round circles is there, no? That is my sample solution. Okay, my sample is there in buffer. You can see both arms. Okay, I connected two electrodes. One is cathode, negative symbol. Second one is anode. Okay, when applying potential difference or voltage or current between these two electrodes, what will happen? My sample, which is there, those ions are going to migrate towards opposite charge electrode. You can see the second diagram. Maybe my sample is having which ions? Anions. That's why all anions are moving which electrode side? Towards anode side, because anode means positive symbol, no? Though my sample is having anions, all the anions are moved towards anode. That is called as moving boundary. Here, we are not using any supporting media. Clear now? Now you understand what is the difference between zone and moving boundary. Zone means you are taking one cross bridge. Upon that cross bridge, you are keeping your supporting medium. It may be paper or gel. That one you are going to moisten with buffer. Then you are applying your sample. You will get a formation of different color zones. That's why name came as zone electrophoresis. But moving boundary means it is not like that. U-shaped glass tube. There you are going to fill your buffer along with the sample. When you are applying potential difference between two electrodes, the migration of ions are going to happen towards the opposite charge electrode. So finally you can observe the difference. Okay, so you see under zone electrophoresis we have different types like paper, gel, thin layer, cellulose acetate electrophoresis. Under moving boundary we have capillary electrophoresis, icotachophoresis, okay, then isoelectrical focusing, immunoelectrofocusing. Okay, next class we will see in detail about paper means what, gel electrophoresis means what, thin layer electrophoresis means what, like that one by one we will see. Okay, so I hope you understand. So very, very important. Now I am going to ask questions. Pallavi.
Yes, sir.
What is the principle involved in electrophoresis?
The principle of electrophoresis is separation of respective ions based on charge towards their respective electrodes, sir.
Okay, very good. Satish?
Sir?
Who is the father of electrophoresis?
Sir, Arnie Tesselis was the father of electrophoresis, sir.
Okay, he separated which proteins? Serum proteins. Okay, serum proteins he separated.
Sir, serum proteins, sir.
Ah, okay, okay. Then Sai Rupa?
Sir?
What are the factors are going to affect electrophoresis?
Factors affecting electrophoresis are sample, electric field, buffer, and supporting medium, sir.
Okay. So thank you. So remaining under zone electrophoresis, paper, gel, thin layer, cellulose acetate, at the same time under moving boundary, capillary, isotachophoresis, electrical focusing, immunoelectrophoresis, we will see in next class. Okay. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.